All right, guys, we're back. Thanks for tuning in here after the flag raising. This is our new season, 2022. We've got the good part of the year coming into play here. This is when folks mostly come down here because the big fish are ready to go, and y'all want to get on them. So how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to learn from these guys on what the best methods of working this lake are going to be. So we're going to be covering some different parts of the lake here in this new season. We're going to be covering tactics. Jerry has found him a new passion. I tell you, Mr. Shiner has turned to Mr. Topwater, and he has gotten dang good at finding some big ones out there on that topwater stuff. So he's going to talk a little bit about his goal coming up here, personal goal here for this month. Dan's going to cover fishing dirty water and some different lures. Dave's going to give you a kayak update, and I'm going to shut up. So, Dave.
So before we start our new season, this was scheduled to our first show of the new season was scheduled to be taped video last week, but we had this Hurricane Ian roll through here. So with that said, we want to lift up everyone who's been impacted by the storm in the southwest, Fort Myers area, the northeast part of Florida. We lift you guys up in prayer. We pray that your journey back to a normal life is quick and safe, and we pray that God lead you and guide you and give you peace and strength through this journey.
Amen. Absolutely. All right. So,
is it me?
Yes, it's you, Jerry. You've been out. You've been fishing a little bit now. I know you and Ron have been coming out, having some fun, figuring some things out, some patterns that are working. So let's go ahead and cover. Since topwater, I know we were talking earlier, happens to be what you're focused on. What's been working? What's the different ways you've been working lures? What kind of lures have you been liking?
Okay.
You know, let's just give it a
all right.
general, so if they're coming down to the lake to fish, here's your recommendations.
Right now. Yep. Okay. So first of all, welcome back, everybody.
Right.
It's been a long, hot, busy summer here.
Hot.
Super hot. Yeah. So, but
the word.
It is changing. Fall's coming. You can feel it. So I mean, here we go.
Yeah. And we went from hot summer to fall overnight.
Yes, sir.
Which
we went actually
it's a storm.
So we just broke it a couple weeks ago. We had 74 days in a row over 90.
Yeah.
And then one day it was like 88 and it stopped it, but it was like 74 days in a row. So it's been miserable here, but things are getting better. So here we go. So I've been fishing some in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and I feel like there's 2 times a year when topwater is at its best, and I think that's in the beginning of spring, and I think that's in October, the month of October. Month of October is a big topwater month. I have been fishing a little bit, and I have found that the fish are already back in some of the places that I was catching them this time last year. I went back through my things, and the fish are already back in there where they're supposed to be. But this year, I've been doing things a little different. I'm actually on the north end of the lake. I haven't really ever fished up in that part of the lake too much. I've never even really ventured up in there, and now I'm up in there, and I am fishing topwater just about strictly, and man, we are just smashing them. Fish from 4 or 5 pounds. We actually had a fish on the other day that I believe she was probably 7 or 8 pounds. Lost her, turned around, I think back to back, and had 2 toads we missed on a baby torpedo, frog color white belly. So they're just on the hydrilla.
But you're having to come out the crack of dawn. You only have like an hour to fish.
Actually, that's
right?
no. So actually, no. So I left the other day at 11:30, and we were still catching them on topwater. And another guy I know sent some stuff that said that he caught them all the way up to 230 on Lane Changers, which is a topwater plug made by Yozuri. So yeah, no, I mean, they've been cracking all the way up to the hurricane.
Yeah.
Post-hurricane, it's been a little bit different, but I feel like now they're back on track.
Yep.
So what I got going on is this month, only in the month of October, I'm going to try to catch, for me personally, myself, I'm going to try to catch a fish 7 pounds or bigger only on a topwater plug. It has to be on a topwater plug. It can be a Zara spook, a devil horse, a frog, a baby torpedo, a popper, but it has to be a topwater plug.
Better take a picture, and I want to see the scale.
and that's part of it too. That's a personal challenge for me. So I don't want to cheat myself.
Weights in the belly.
No weights in the belly, and it will. And
That's
to be
topic for another day.
and to be honest with you, I'm really going to try to do it with a devil horse.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to try to
All
do.
right, folks. So since Jerry's on that personal challenge, we want you guys to be on the same challenge. So make sure you bounce over to Hooked on Headwaters on Facebook to the group page. Go ahead and become a member of the group and post up your October catches, top water. Showing your fish what it is on a scale. Show us what you're getting on those top water baits. So let's see who comes out ahead.
I'm ready.
At the end of October, and Dave and I will kick out a cool prize pack for the winner.
That's right.
No stuff bases, wait, none of the bull. Just play it straight. That's all we ask.
I want to see the top water. It's got to be a top water play. I want to see the top water bait.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely.
That's for the month of October.
Only for the month of October. So we're already down to what, like 27 days, and then I'm upset because I already know that I had that fish once already anyway, and I may have had two that were that size already, but
And
that's Jerry fashion.
Here. Come out of Headwaters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now that's there you go.
Oh wait, you know what? That wouldn't be fair for some of our folks that are out of the area.
Yeah.
Okay, disregard.
Okay.
Disregard that.
Yep. Top water.
7 pounds or bigger.
A big fish is a big fish.
Yeah.
Right?
Seven,
Big fish is a big fish.
seven,
On top water.
7 pounds or bigger, not 614. 7 pounds
for
or
7,
bigger.
All right.
You can still submit your catches. Even
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. But make sure you show the fish,
Yep.
On a scale.
the scale, and the lure.
But guys, right now,
Especially with a secret lure.
Right.
Yeah, right now on Headwaters or your lakes, buzz baits, any kind of top water right now, the transition of water's cooling down and these fish are starting to move around, and yeah, I'm excited, man.
Right on.
I'm just I'm ready.
Cool. Yeah, what do you got, Dan?
Okay, so I haven't been fishing since the hurricane out here. Been working on the trailer. I've been talking to Dave about it. I got a little bit of video of that. Maybe put it up sometime later.
Yep.
So my goal this afternoon after done with the video is I'm going to go fishing, just like I'm going to follow Jerry probably.
We're going. I'm going too.
So my hunt bait, so what the conditions we have now is the water's about 2 foot higher, almost 2 foot higher than it was pre-hurricane. So the water's also very dark. When we get an influx of rain, the water's very dark. Dave found some water on a kayak trip the other day that was
Dark chocolate
terrible.
milk.
Terrible.
I've got a video on that. I'll chat about that a little later.
Yeah, so I'm going to use some search baits. So depending on how much wind I've got, if I can get them untangled, I like a buzz bait. I can cover a lot of water.
Look at that thing going right now. Boy, it's ready.
Hear that?
It's ready.
I'll throw a spinnerbait. These blades, they thump a lot. Colors, up to you. I like chartreuse and white, and then sometimes you can go black and blue, give them something a little different.
Right.
And get a strike. And then I'm going to throw a chatterbait, the big blade. This puts off a lot more vibration. So, because I'm fishing darker water, the water's still clear in a lot of places.
It is. It's really not that bad in a lot of places.
Yeah, but it's dark, and there's a lot more of it. So,
Tannic.
Yeah, very tannic. And something else to keep in mind too, guys, is in Headwaters we had this influx of water. There's a lot of areas that were topped out previously that are now it's underwater, so you can fish those areas.
That's right.
It makes it easier to fish. So my goal this afternoon is to try to find a couple areas with some schools of fish in it, get prepared for an upcoming guide trip, and follow Jerry around, like I said.
There you go.
I got to keep him honest and make sure he's going to show us a picture of his big one on the scale.
That's right.
I'm hoping I.
What are you going to do if you fish by yourself today and you catch that one?
Well, I mean,
And you don't have a.
I do though. I have a tripod and everything with my phone. I don't have my
okay.
GoPro, but I have a phone, and
I was going to figure out a way I can make
Well,
20
you
bucks.
set it on 10 seconds.
I was going to.
Or you can either
You
take
can call me and say, yeah, but I'm on fish. I need 20 bucks if I'm going to lose. No, I come.
Don't hey, listen. Trust me. Hey,
Yeah.
folks, you can bet if I know where they are, he knows where they are.
And folks, just for you might wondering where are these guys standing? We are just to the left of the pole, which is
Yeah.
right there, the flag pole. And as Barry said earlier, the flag is
45
flying,
canal,
so
45 canals right here behind
find your
us.
way.
Yep.
And that's up the North Lake. That's where we're going to be headed.
And
that way.
Sorry for the wind. It is a very windy day. We try to.
Last 2 or 3 days, it's been like this all the way up until dark. It's been breezy like this.
Yeah.
It's all right.
They bite good, like when it's
I
like
like
So let's keep talking about fishing stained, muddy water. So I was out on the kayak, had a few hours. I fished the north part of Stick Marsh, and it was like chocolate milk, dark chocolate milk. So
like with particulate in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like it was just dark, dirty water.
I'll show the video, the quick video,
was
short video. The worm, and I think I had 2 inches visibility.
Yeah, bad.
And that was it. So what are some of the strategies for fishing in those conditions?
Well, you know, with me, when I find water that's that bad, where it's got all that rotten vegetation stirred up, I typically don't fish there. Now, if there's moving water there, if there's moving water there, I'll try it. But I'm thinking the whole time, man, I need to leave, because when the water's that bad, I don't like fishing it. So many times it's just not been good. Now, if I can go down the way and find in the same general vicinity and find an area that's got some clear water in it, that might be the place for the fish maybe reposition. But other than that, I try to find, I don't mind dark water like we have now. Like it's coffee color.
That's exactly what it is.
I don't mind that, as long as it's not got so much of the old rotten vegetation stirred up in it.
A lot of sediment. Because of the hurricane, a lot of sediment.
Now, if that's the only thing I've got to fish, and like we were talking to me at a little bit of moving water situation, what I would do in that, I would think that the fish would probably position near the bottom. I'd probably throw a big worm with a big curly tail worm with a weight to keep it kind of right on close to the bottom and fish it right over the bottom with short little hops, just enough movement where they can feel it rather than see it. You know? Yeah, so that's probably what I do in
like a big lizard or something like that.
A big lizard's got all those legs and things. It's putting off a lot of vibration.
You could even Carolina rig it too and just let it.
Carolina rig, yep. But you know, I would think though, I fished some tournament over in Lake Pierce years ago, and then the water was dirty, not that dirty, but I was throwing a Carolina rig, and the water was fairly dirty. The fish were biting the weight.
That's right.
Not biting the lure.
That's what was thumping. That's what was making the thump. That's
so it was putting off a lot more noise. So what I did is I threw a little bit of a curveball. I cut that weight off, tied on a regular old jig, tied my leader to the jig, and kept fishing, and I was catching them on the jig and on the bait. So
you know, when you got lakes that are just naturally stained or dirty like that, the fish are conditioned to it, and then that's
kind of like the north end of Headwaters. It's got a different
But when you've got like it is on the west end down here of Headwaters in the water, I mean, some points during the winter, I call it gin clear. I mean, it's that clear. When those fish encounter really super dirty water out of nowhere, I think it upsets their balance. They don't know what to do. And I think that's what's happened here. But like you said, if you look at this water in this lake, especially around the sandy bottom areas, it looks like what it's supposed to look like. It looks like St. John's.
And you know what the fish sometimes do as well in those situations like you're talking about where clear water changes to dirty water. A lot of times the fish, they'll either move out of that area or they'll lock on cover. Something that their eyeballs this far from, they can see it. It gives them one point of reference, I would assume. I'm making an assumption about a fish. But they tend to hold there or sit on a rock or a piece of wood on the bottom or a bottom contour.
I think it's security too. They're up against them, you know, they feel safe right there, you know? So all good stuff, man.
All right, guys. So, good update, good challenge. Don't forget, Facebook, look on Headwaters group. That's where you're going to join. If you're not already joined over there, submit your pictures. So at the end of the month, we'll go ahead and put out the winner of that. We've got some gear reviews coming up here real soon. We're going to talk about. So we'll be looking out for those. This will be a product that came from the iCast, and we really liked, and we think you guys are going to really like it as well. So we got product reviews coming up, and we're going to be doing maybe a little remake of some of the how to navigate the lake videos and stuff, how to get around. Right now, actually, just as a heads up for this week, coming down the S Canal, there is some blockages you're going to have to work around. So just pay attention as you're coming through. If you run into a solid wall, you should be able to backtrack to, if you're familiar with the place, that was the second cut.
If you want, we can talk about, okay, so what happened, I was following Jerry out today, and he made it around, there's a blockage in the S Canal. Jerry made it around on the east side, right on the trees, hitting the tree limbs, and when he went through, part of this floating island
twisted,
rolled in behind him, and I couldn't get through. So there is, when you're coming down the S Canal, you'll pass the little bay, first bay on the left. There's one little opening. You can't really get in there. You can't go anywhere if you get in there, which is within 400 yards of the ramp. You get on down, there's another opening to the west, to the east side. You turn to the east. What I had to do is turn back a little bit north and go around. There's a big mat there, but you can't get around. Jump up on plane. There's ditches out there that run north and south. Get in one of those ditches, you can run all the way down to where the east-west canal and the S canal intersect.
That's right.
That's probably the safest way to get, it's the only way to get around the plug if you can't get through the plug.
So now if you're going to be coming here this weekend, or you're going to be coming here 2 or 3 days from now, you can bet these boys are going to be in here at some point this week, and that thing will probably be pushed out and opened back up. So go to it, and if it is, when you turn around and start heading back towards like the parking lot, it will be the very first opening that you have on your right hand side. Go in there and you can just run down the pits right there, come into the pits and run right down the pits like Dan was saying, and then you can either go out there or however you want to go out into the lake, but that may be what you have to do because it is pretty congested still.
And Saturday morning, apparently the
yes, I was here that morning.
ramp was blocked in. Our buddy Brandon pulled out a treble hook or
it was a big old grappling hook, threw it in there, and then backed his boat out and just pulled it out.
Cleared it.
Yeah.
I could see. I was on my way to Stick Marsh. I can see I could see the blockage from the road. So it was quite big. It was quite substantial.
Big. I had a video of it up, and it was like the whole island he was moving.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, we're not going to keep you any longer. We're going to wrap this one up for this week.
Kayak report.
As far as kayaking, I have a picture of it. The Headwaters kayak launch is bogged in. All this stuff that was floating, and it's the northwest corner with that big east wind. It just bogged that in. You would have to walk a good 150, maybe 200 yards to find a spot to launch.
Drop that kayak in.
A majority of us,
that's a long ways.
Our kayaks are super heavy. It's just way too far. Hopefully, St. John will clear it one day. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Otherwise, you can fish Stick Marsh, easy launch. You can fish Headwaters. Just be very careful. The canal is maybe 60. If you haven't been here before, the canal is maybe 60, 70 feet wide max. So just be careful with the traffic. There are a couple of pockets on the left-hand side or the east side. You can fish and you can access with a kayak. But as far as coming all the way down, it's going to be. You can scoot around it. It'll be a little challenging to get around in a kayak.
Biggest thing is just don't get way out in there like that right now with this wind and get hung up down there in a place that's closed off or. Be careful.
The first when we were running by that narrow, once you get past the first bay, you can fish the first bay, which is just like 300 yards from ramp. There's down a little further. There's an opening there. That's actually cleared out. You can get a kayak in there. It's still shallow. There's probably 3 foot of water in there right now. So you could fish that. I've caught fish in there when the water was high before.
That would be the second opening on the left.
Correct.
Right.
I have
past the bay.
People pass by that bay all the time, and I just sneak up in there, and I'm always in there catching bass on shiners, man, because the place is really overlooked. But it's like a little mini pit, is what it is. So you got a big hot drilling bed, and they're floating right in the middle of it.
In there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, man, I love it in there. But it tossed it around pretty good. But I mean, I think it's going to recover pretty quick.
And they also have C54 canal too. There is fishing. I caught an 8-pounder in C54 years ago. They were crushing them in there.
Big bass in there, and a lot of specks in there. Do a lot of crappie fishing in there.
Watch the wind, because if
you paddle 4 miles,
paddle one way, and it'd be nice and easy. Wind behind your back. You gotta turn around and get back home.
Fight it going out, ride it coming back.
That's it.
That's the best way right there. You fight it while you're strong and then just ease coming in.
That's it.
All right.
Otherwise, you can call $50 rescue and we'll come get you. All right, guys. Good?
We are good.
Good. All right. We're going to wrap it up for this week, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to a lot of new content coming in this season. So thanks again for watching. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. See y'all next week.
See you.